This is one of the people that I went to for help who assisted Dual County Sheriff's Department in getting away with their crimes. A lot of people did. It's a small town politics. A lot of people had to conspire together to deny me my rights as a human being. And I want to say this is 23 or 24 officers or public officials that have been arrested that I tried to turn in so far. And now, although I was treated like I was crazy for saying these things, let me tell you, I tried to turn in, when I was sent to Lincoln Prison, I was abused like a motherfucker, and I reported on corrections officers like, well, Michelle DeCini, and of course Assistant Warden Sarah Nelson, who was assisting people like Michelle DeCini in getting away with their crimes. Well, guess what? Sarah Nelson's in prison for touching inmates wrong. Michelle DeCini is in prison for touching inmates wrong, in addition to other charges like smuggling things in. And it's not like I didn't tell. Of course I told on my predators. Sarah Nelson was instrumental in assisting those other corrections officers in getting away with the felonies that they were committing. Oh, and she was a real nice lady when I finally talked to her the day before I was transferred from the prison to Scotts Bluff to finally await trial. But guess what? Sarah Nelson is now in prison for improperly touching inmates. Now then there's Michelle Quinn. This is one of many jurisdictions. When you say it's out of jurisdiction, it's out of jurisdiction, it's out of jurisdiction, it ain't the other way around, is it? Michelle Quinn is the sheriff. Real nice lady to me. She was. But when I was in the custody of her jail, under the guidance of her officers, well, there were a lot of crimes committed there. And all of those crimes could not have been committed without the consent of this woman. She was the sheriff. And now guess where she's at? She's yeah. She pled guilty to domestic assault for beating the fuck out of her girlfriend. Well, you want to pretend lesbians can't be violent? Only men are violent? No. This is a sheriff. The sheriff. A lesbian sheriff. And what did she do? She beat the fuck out of her girlfriend after helping Scott DeCosta commit crimes against me. And every time one of these people is arrested, well, it shows you that I had to deal with a bunch of fucking crooks. There's also the fact that I recorded conversations with these crooks. So I already knew they were crooks. I've already dealt with these crooks. I also got enough out of them to record that I was telling the truth. Now maybe you should go back through and look. There's a lot more officers than just that. There's a lot more people that I told on than Polly Olsen. In my paperwork, you get to see her name making a claim of something that's untrue. And guess what? Nebraska State Patrol didn't arrest me, did they? They did not arrest me on her false claims. Nope, they arrested Polly Olsen. Woohoo! Yeah! Now that right there is a motherfucking win. Now let's make sure that we look into her daughter. And I like her daughter's husband. As a matter of fact, I like her daughter. But the thing is that they, being on that panel that got to make the decisions about what happened to me, assisted Sheriff Scott DeCosta in denying me medical rights and medical attention. They assisted in intentionally misleading the situation to help their friends get away. See, here's the thing about Polly Olsen, where Polly Olsen was dumber than these cops. Polly Olsen was too dumb to leave when she got busted. She was too stupid to leave. before somebody took the situation seriously. Cody Selhorse didn't want to go to prison, so he took the hit. When Scott Costa decided to help him to get away with his crimes, Cody Selhorse was smart enough to leave. When Sheriff Scott Costa decided to help Jordan Anderson get away with his crimes, Jordan Anderson was smart enough to leave. When Sheriff DaCosta was willing to do all he could to help Joel J. get away with committing his crimes, well, goddamn, Joel J. was smart enough to move along to Kansas to become a judge. Fuck yes. Good career decision. Also, prevents me from dragging his bitch ass into court to admit that I went to him repeatedly and he motherfucking blew me off like a piece of shit. Polly Olsen is just one more arrest to add to at least 2 dozen. I mean, we gotta talk about those 2 officers who did that shit to Demetrius Shankling. Demetrius Shankling is dead. Those 2 officers are in prison for manslaughter. I wasn't allowed to turn them in because I was locked up that way. It's not that I didn't try. And when you try to turn in the guards, they abuse the fuck out of you. The doctors in the prison, you know what they told me? Don't turn in the guards, are you stupid? No, I'm not. I already know what'll happen. The doctors didn't have to explain to me what happens when you tell on the guards. I already knew. I'm not a fucking idiot. I'd already seen it. I'd already endured it. The thing is, people say, well, why didn't you come forward? Why didn't you tell anyone? I did, and I keep trying. Every time you ask that question, it shows that you didn't fucking pay any goddamn attention. You just listened to other people. Ha ha, Polly Olsen, you're in prison. Ha ha, Michelle Decini, now your bitch ass is the one in prison. Sarah Nelson, ha 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 ha, you're in prison. Merry goddamn Christmas, motherfuckers. It's a good day. Both the officers who killed Demetrius Shankling, you're in prison. That's what you get for abusing me. They ain't the only ones either. Now we gotta look into the situation with Waylon Lolatai. Well, I'm treated like I'm crazy for saying he did those things to me. And for showing that he did those things to me. He did those things to a lot of other people, but guess what? Those other people were granted access to the body cameras, whereas I was granted to only more use. Why did I have to do desperate things to try to turn these officers in? Because they knew I was trying to turn them in. Why did I have to do such desperate things to try to turn the other predators in? Because they knew I was trying to turn them in. And, number one, most of all, more than anything, I had no real assistance in person in doing so. I had procrastinators who go forth just enough effort to claim that they had made an effort. Procrastinators, right? Now imagine if they had listened to me, how many of these predators would have already been behind bars? I told you how nasty Chapel, Nebraska is. I told you that just like that town in Ghost Rider, the town of lost souls, I told you guys that was Chapel, Nebraska for me. You're part of the in crowd, or you're a coward. That's pretty much it. The in crowd is going to do whatever the fuck they want. It doesn't matter what the law says. It's their own private fucking yacht club, or the equivalent thereof in western Nebraska. They got everyone in the bag. They got all these corrupt people who work there. And they work together because they're corrupt. They spend their entire careers being fucking liars, assisting cocaine users and cocaine dealers like Old Man Cabela get away with his crimes. That's right. Not all of the Cabela's started the Cabela's or started the Cabela's store. There was one brother who stuck around and did Scott DeCosta's days are numbered. He's going to prison. So is that judge. Both of them. And then judges in Colorado too. Here's the thing. It's not that this is some big surprise that these things are happening. It's not like nobody ever spoke up. Pleasant people. Hood River is a nice place, and a lot of the travelers that come through are pretty nice. It's a lot different from Chapel, Nebraska, or Boulder, Colorado. People used to be nice in Boulder. Well, that changes when you're slandered the way I was. On the bright side, at least I told the truth.